Recently, many voices have been heard talking about the destruction of Jewish communities, termed illegal outposts. The planned destruction of these outposts is justified by the need to uphold the law. Meanwhile, illegal Arab construction is not being addressed by Israeli authorities.
There's
no feeling of a sovereign who says what is allowed and what isn't. They could build dozens of houses every day, take over areas, and there is no statement made by the state against it.
When
you come to demolish a Jewish property, you could do it in the morning, the evening, night, any time. There was a wedding at night, the next day the hall was demolished. But if you demolish an Arab's property, you have to go through the Attorney General, you need police forces, which are approved only after the Attorney General's permission, and if you inform them a week earlier. And it's during that week when they petition and get the act cancelled. Also in the areas of Dimona and Mitzpeh Rimon, the Bedouins are taking over, even worse than in Judea and Samaria. And I showed you the flags of the European Union. Most of this is funded by the EU, which is a known method. I think that in 10 years you won't be able to drive between the southern cities of Dimona and Yerucham, between Dimona and Be'er Sheva, because all the roads will be dominated by illegal building. What a previous government demolished in the Jewish community of Amona in one day is what the Arabs build every single day here in the south.
Knesset members of the National Union Party came to the south for a special tour to witness from up close the construction of new and illegal Arab neighborhoods.
We are in Region C, in South Hebron area, and in this area, even though it's an area within a complete control of the Israeli government via the army, the Israeli army, the Palestinian Authority, with money that was given from the European Union, is running development works. They open this road, they start an electricity line, they destroy forests and build illegal houses on state land. Behind me you can see the sign of the Palestinian Authority that was put on Regency, that within complete Israeli control, and the Israeli government and the Israeli army are doing nothing against it. They just ignore it. That's the way to lose the land. It's not the way to own the land of Israel.
We are suffering today in the Negev by mass construction illegally. They filling up the whole area with hundreds of thousand people, and the Israeli government doesn't do anything. We don't hear any word from the American regime about the fact that the Negev, which is the most important part of Eretz Israel, is being occupied day by day by illegal construction, which done with the permission of the Supreme Court, with the permission of the prosecutors, with the permission of the all lawyers which are fighting so hardly and so aggressively against the Jewish people in Judea and Samaria.
During the tour, the Knesset members actually met an Arab in the midst of the construction of a road to an illegal neighborhood. The Bedouin admits he doesn't really take into account the laws of the State of Israel.
It's a legal state, legal for you. Just for the Palestinians, it's illegal.
The parliamentarians met local residents who criticized the treatment of the subject by the authorities.
This wild behavior comes to a situation where they, out in the open, come, build, and know nothing will be ruined. A representative of the authorities comes, hands over a warrant, and it doesn't continue from there. We write letters to local authorities, and in most cases we don't receive any answer. We climb the levels of authority and we reach the courts. The petitions we submitted last week are finally being responded to, and that could be the beginning of something new.
This government is a supposedly Likud right-wing tendency government, and time and again they're proving on the ground that they're not willing to move, they're not willing to allow us build, the Jews, and they're not willing to dismantle anything that the Arabs build. I have no explanation for it other than the fact that it seems like left-wing ideology has totally taken over not only Labour and Kadima, but the Likud party as well.
One of the common criminal activities is the damaging of water lines in order to collect the water and store it in reservoirs. After the army bases in the region remained without water, the authorities began taking care of some of these reservoirs. But it's only a drop in the bucket.